Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, I have two different things for you. So, one, we're going to be going over a replay review. As y'all know, those are obviously the best. And two, we're actually going to go over my deck profile that I've been playing for Post-Blazing Dominion, why I'm playing it, and why it's going to be so strong. But before we get into the guys, you already know, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below. That way you know when I post more content. And keep in mind as well, while you're watching this video, I have another video that's going to be coming out very, very soon about a third place not box, but case tournament deck profile coming out to you this weekend. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be soon, and let's get into it. So we're going to go on to the replay first. This is against Insom, and he is playing Kewl. So I'm fortunate enough to win the dice roll here. Rock, paper, scissors, whatever you want to call it, and get to go first. Not a super duper strong hand, but starter, technically extender, and then obviously this is, an extender, but not for my engine, but the sub engine, right? So here we're going to go ahead, main phase, activate Theo. I'm going to go ahead, he's like, yep, that's good. I look at his top deck, I forget exactly what I saw here. But yeah, I think I chose to put it on the bottom. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was Called by the Grave. So yeah, I'm like res, I'm like here. I choose to do Medius's effect here, right? So the plan is like hopefully this summons, because at this point I don't know what my opponent's playing, right? And then if it does summon, I go effect, right? Summon, and then I put back the bell. And then if he stops it, I can normal summon over it with the Regina. If that gets stopped, I still have Fall in the White and Imperm, right? So I can eat like 3 hand traps here and still kind of like end on a board, right? So go ahead, put this back, special summon, effect. It eats Ash Blossom. I'm like, that's cool. I go ahead, tribute, normal summon, effect, and then I'm pretty sure like my opponent just has no more interaction after this. So here we go ahead and synchro. We go Chainlink 1 Power Patron. Chainlink 2 is going to be Regina. She adds herself back to hand. I go ahead and get my search. And then here I go ahead, effect summon. And then, so this is summon number 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. This is summon number 1. This is summon number 2. This is summon number 3. This is summon number 4. This is summon number 5. So if they have nib, they have to nib here because this threatens Crystal Wing or Ecclesia, right? So they obviously they don't have it. Nobody's playing nib this format, to be honest, because of Kewl. They just look at your hand and go, nice nib, bro. 4 summons, pass. So it doesn't really matter. Here I go ahead and make Crystal Wing because I already have Fall in the White Dragon. If I didn't, I would be making Ecclesia here to bridge, doing all that first to make Omega, and then ripping their hand before starting with Tinia. So, but here, since I do, I can go ahead and just do the Tinia stuff before I lock myself into 8s, because I'm now protected from any other hand trap that they could have, right? As long as it's a monster, right? Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, whatever. All right, they already used Ash, but like Effect Veiler, whatever the case might be, right? So here, go effect, set for cost. Go ahead and special out the Lucina. Lucina is going to go ahead and give me access to Fortunia. Go ahead and special the Fortunia here. I'll go ahead and be able to place the spell or the trap at this point. And keep in mind, I have not used Regina's effect to special summon herself yet. So even if he had like Imperm or Veiler here, I still could dodge if I needed to. So here I'm I'm thinking here because I was thinking about sending the Regina to keep the names on board. That way like I could leave the Lucina as a bounce, but like I said, I don't know what he's playing, so I was like, it might not be worth it. I go ahead, I reborn this, and then I choose to level modulate here so I can make this a level 4. So I can make it a level 10. The reason I do this is, as you're going to see, I'm playing a specific monster that is just really good into all the decks right now, right? So here we use these two. I make the Lev, and then I'm going to move it over to the center main zone because I don't need the center zone open right now. I'm not going to Regina immediately off the rip because I don't need to. And yeah, so this is really good because of Kewl, right? Kewl, they're very revolving around the normal summon. This being able to negate and steal their normal summon is very strong, especially when backed up by something like Rhapsodia, because like you go like this effect, right? They go normal summon effect, you chain this, they chain like Kewl synchro, and you just chain this and negate it, right? And then Crystal Wing checks Rotary, which if they try to additional normal, which like you go like you let them activate the effect additional normal. You go, yep, that's fine. They normal summon, and then they don't activate the effect. You can get punished. So you have to negate the rotary, right? You can't let them let it resolve, and unless it's like a mix, I guess. If it's like a level 2, maybe you could, but like, there's no point, right? Because if they have any other name in hand, you just get cooked. You just have to negate the rotary. And negating rotary is good anyways, because it negate destroys, which means they can't, even if they do get a name on field, that means they lose the rotary that they had, and they have to get another one just to try to synchro to look at your hand. So, here, I activate Fall on the White Dragon, and my opponent's like, absolute cinema, mid defeat, right? So, this is like basically an FTK board because I hard drew the Fall on the White Dragon. Because like this is a negate, this is a negate, this is a negate. This is gonna be fuse with. I'm gonna have the hand drip. I'm gonna have the monster bounce. Right. I have a lot of interruption here. Right, and it's very very strong. And yeah, this is gonna set up the hand rip as well. So yeah, my opponent just says like, nope, I'm good. And then they're gonna go first here. So good luck, have fun, obviously. And here, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I get super cooked here, right? He goes Synchro Overtake, I chain Fua, he chains Ash, and I'm just like, oh, pain, right? Super unfortunate, right? So he gets a summon from deck, and then I thought about belling this, but I was like, there's probably no point. Because if he's summoning Mix here, then he should have access to like other stuff already, right? He probably he should have Q already, or he should have like Rotary plus like another name, like a 3, like Reiko, which means like it like me hitting this is like no point because this is the worst one, right? She's the level 2, like she's the best off of the special summon because she can search basically all the good ones, right? She can search Rotary, she can search Q, like Clip's okay. Like you can search Clip, you can't search Clip because it's a 2, but like Rico, Q, and Rotary are all like the really 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 good ones. So she searches all of those, but you don't want to normal her because synchroing with her kind of sucks. So yeah, and then here he goes normal to Q. Q gets to Reiko effect. This gets him to Clip, which tells me he has Rotary already anyways, right? So these do those two. He goes Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3. I'm like, cool. Banish top, banish top. Yeah, I get top deck Ash Blossom, which is not bad because he's going to have Cool Tune Synchro, but he's going to have 2 of them by the time he's done searching, right? So he's going to search 1, he's going to search 2, and he does this specifically because he knows he's giving me the Ash Blossom. And then he lets, like I said, he looks at my hand, and then, oh yeah, I was like, this deck's going to burn. And he's like, your deck isn't fair either. And I was like, you know everything, right? I was like, and then I think I told him, like, just play around the knowledge. Yeah, like, build your board around the knowledge. Like, you get to custom make your board, right? To try to beat, like, my hand plus, like, this, right? Like, crazy, right? So he sets 2, it's his double, Cool Tune, Sync, and then, like, yeah, like, this board is just super hard to break. I do make, like, a kind of a misplay here. Trying to like crack into the board, but like I don't have a good way to play because I have normal summon. This doesn't do anything. These don't do anything really either. Like I can't play into the board anyways. So yeah, it just sucks. So I go effect to this. He does something smart and he chains the effective remix. And like at this point I should have just let it go, but like I decide not to. And I go spell here, which I should not have done. Misplay on my end, negate the bell. I'm like, okay. And then, yeah, he goes these 2, and then summon these, makes back-to-back, and then, like I said, I just lose. So, yeah, and then, like, it doesn't even matter if he doesn't negate here with, like, Zalin, right? And I don't give him the bell, or I keep the bell, because he can just go ahead and, like, when your opponent activates a monster effect, right, you can target a 2 in your graveyard or banishment except the level 10, add it to your hand, or special summon it. So, like, if I activate any monster, he just chains this, and summons the Zalin back. So even if like he hasn't used the negate, he just gets it back anyway for free because of back to back. Because it's back to back is broken. Yeah, one tuner plus a synchro, one or more synchro monsters. This is basically just completely generic, and it's super broken. But yeah, and then he gets that Rico back, and then at this point I get, I lose. And then he's like, now I get FTK'd, and I was like, you play 25 hand taps, or you should. And then he says I play 6, which I don't know if he's trolling or not, but like, you're playing Cool Tune. You should be playing like 25 hand traps post side. Like, I shouldn't be able to play the game. You should see like 4 hand traps and like have one starter plus an extender, right? Because you just need to draw something that like has a search effect on synchro, right? And it doesn't matter because all the hand traps they play are like tuners for the most part. I think they all are tuners, which means that you just like if you don't get to use a hand trap, you can just synchro with it. It's super, like you can't downplay this deck, bro. Like it's broken. But here we get to go first again, right? Final part of this. And then this hand's a little bit better. Like if I have to normal this, I can. It's not terrible, but not great either. But I have a starter and an extender, right? So, like, let's say I summon this and they ash it. I'm like, cool. I can tribute normal over it and continue to play. If I get stopped there, I've got 2 hand traps and I can try. Or to be honest, what I probably do is, like, I summon this, they ash it, I go effect, send it for cost, and then, like, that's fine. I special summon it and I use its effect, it gets stopped, and then I normal this, and then I play from there. But, yeah. Anyways, special summon, effect. He goes, I activate effect veiler. I'm like, that's cool, bro. Chain, send for cost. And he's like, broken. And I'm like, what? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, her summoning herself from hand is pretty good. And her sending it for cost is not bad. But, like, if you, like, impulse this card, right, I have to send the thing for cost. And then, like, this is only good because it was Veiler. If this was, like, Ash Blossom, like, this does nothing. He's like, I just got hand looped, which is ironic coming from the Cool Tune player, but, whatever. So here I go ahead, I search extender, and then I go ahead and special out Tinia, because this will allow me to go ahead and, like, set the extender, basically, right? So this is going to be how I'm going to extend originally. If I get hand trapped again, the plan is, like, I have the spell card to continue to play after, right? So here we go ahead, I go effect, I go place. And then I go normal, synchro, make Seraphim, chainlink 1 search, chainlink 2 add back to hand, add to hand. Here, go ahead, grab out the Fortunia, and then here I can go ahead, summon this out. And then here I debate as well. I'm like, should I just make the Crystal Wing? Or should I make the Ecclesia? But I choose to make the Ecclesia here, which, to be honest, against the Cool Tune matchup, you probably shouldn't be making the Ecclesia. Right, if you with this stuff, right? Because like trying to synchro with their stuff is kind of difficult because they have to have like Kewl on the field or Rotary or Track Maker, or like Zalin, because you need like a light or a dark on their field plus an effect monster to make Dogma, or it has to be like an extra deck monster already so you can make Mirror Jade. So honestly, probably would have been good enough just to make Crystal Wing, but I chose not to. And then also this also still gets to like let you hand rip, so it's still pretty good, right? So I go effect. I have to summon this from hand because if I don't, and I summon the Fall on the White Dragon, I can't. He doesn't summon from hand, so I summon this from hand. This goes summons from the deck. This summons from grave. He goes C unfair, which again crazy because like I drew like one of like the 1-ups, so like. This could have been another hand trap. I could have had 3 hand traps in hand, but, I was like, you sync from hand, and he's like, and I'm like, it's a condension. Imperm is pointless. Like, you go, like, normal summons anything. Yeah, I actually put it on the field. Like, this guy, we played it a couple of times. He was talking crazy. Like his deck is bad or something, but it's fine. Here, I roll 5s to, like, 1 through 4, 5, 6 for roll. 1, 2, 3, boom. Go ahead and banish out of hand. Banish Synchro Overtake. Pretty good banish. Special summon effect. Go ahead. He's like, so I'm getting hand looped for 3. And I was like, yup. And he's like, I don't know. Sounds kind of unfair. Which this wasn't a hand loop. This was just like dodging. Which he can dodge this too. With like Cool Tune Sync. Like. And that one doesn't send for cost. Which means like if this stays on the field. Because I negate it. He can still. And it stays. Which means he doesn't lose the resource. And then he synchros from hand. Which is just 100% better, by the way. But I just tell him it is, and then here I go ahead, summon out the Patron, and then I go ahead and make the 10, and then I go end main, bring out the Cool Tune, and then, yeah, pass turn. So, as you can see here, we have all the names engraved, Seraphim's live to, like, summon back. We already Omega hand ripped. I'm going to be able to have access to Tinia hand rip with, like, Regina, which is why I left the center main zone open. Instead of like making this in the center like I did, the plan was since I already ripped one and I dodged his imperm, I wanted to be able to remove another because he'd have 3 cards. I have 1 negate, 2 negate, 3 negate. Like I wasn't counting this one, so like I should be able to trade 3 negates into his 3 cards and win the game. But here he goes draw phase and he tries to go to main. I'm like end the draw phase, activate Regina, send for cost, special summon effect. And then he Ash Blossoms it. Because, fair enough, right? He either, I think at this point, he should have just left this to the hand rip. Because, like, worst case scenario, I rip the Ash Blossom, which is worst case for me, right? Because, like, what is he going to Ash? He's going to Ash, like, Ecclesia, and that's, like, it. Which, like I said, he has to play into the Ecclesia, which he doesn't really have to do with Cool Tune until he gets like a synchro on field, right? So here, I'll go ahead and go main phase. He'll go main phase 1, and then, okay, I make a executive decision here, right? I hand rip the first overtake. He plays 3 overtake. The second one was also in his hand. What are the chances the third one's there, right? Because it says you can only activate overtake once per turn. I make the decision here to bell this. Because I'm like, there's no way. There is no way, right, that he has the third one in hand too, right? And even if he does, it doesn't matter. I can negate it, right? He literally goes, if he goes, activate this, I chain Bell. He goes, activate it again, I chain Ash Blossom. And then whatever this other card is, I just negate with the trap, right? It doesn't matter. As long as this has to touch the board, right? And then if it's a monster, it loses to Lev, right? So I'm like, cool, Bell. Right? Negate. Normal summon Q effect. I'm like, chain this, right? This is where this is really, really good, right? He activates this. I'm going to negate it so he doesn't summon from the deck, which means like if he has another tuner in hand, it doesn't matter. And also, it's not another tuner in hand, but disregard that. Just keep in mind, right? So he won't be able to special the other tuner from the deck, which means if he had another tuner in hand, he can't use it. Won't be able to be useful, and he's already normaled. Right, so and then since he only has 1 card, even if it's rotary, it doesn't matter, right? So this is just game, right? And then he goes cost for the tribute, which it's not, and then he goes chain Cool Tune Sync, which loses to Madness and loses to the Ash Blossom, right? So like I said, it was checkmate anyways. It was like just chain GG's, right? So that's the end of the match, guys. Here we're gonna go ahead and move on to the deck profile and talk about why this deck that I'm playing is so unbelievably strong. Alright guys, as you can see here, this is currently the deck that I am playing. So, we're going to go card by card, reasons and everything else, and let's talk about it, right? 3 Lucinia, she's like your best, she's basically your best starter in terms of Elfnote names. Tinia is your second best one, but since we have Regina now, you don't need to max out on copies of her. So basically we're playing 3 copies of Welcome Home, 2 of her, 1 of it. You want to see her more than the Welcome Home because she can be used as the fodder for the spell, which is why she's good. Because basically, like, her getting the spell for you means that, like, like I said, she pays for herself, right? Because she gets the spell gets any other name, right? And then, like I said, you don't have to use something out of hand. Regina, obviously, dodging, like, negation, or even if, like, your opponent goes, like, activate, like, Ghost Ogre or whatever, to get rid of something, or even for example like Dominus Spark, her being able to like just remove a body off of the field and like just force protection is really, really strong. So really, really good card. And yeah, so play her at 3. She's not really a hand trap, to be honest. She's she's just like a really good Swiss Army knife. She can do everything you need her to. And she actually does help you go for lethal. There's been plenty of times like I've gone like battle phase, had like 2 monsters on field. I'm like poke, and my opponent like, yeah, that's fine. And then I go like activate Regina, summon herself, summon Lucinia, and then swing for an extra like 4,500 that they just weren't expecting. And yeah, it's really really strong. It can be a jump scare in battle phase, like against your opponent, because like I said, you can like summon out stuff like Lucinia or like Fortunia to bounce things against your opponent like during battle phase. And then also under the trap as well, it's really good because like they can like attack the center monster and then redeclare again with like another monster into like something else. Like for example, your Ecclesia, and then you just like chain Regina, summon herself, and then you go like swap position to bounce a monster if it has a level with like Lucinia, and then you can put like another, like I said, big monster on the field, or like I said, eat another attack if you can to keep like Ecclesia alive or whatever the case might be. Fortunia, because she gets the trap, which is like the best card in the deck. The spell is like the good extender, like just good extender. Same thing with Tinia. And then we're only playing 2 of the Medius, right? We have Regina now, right? So originally it was like 3, 3, 1, right? So we have more starters. So it used to be like 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then these were like extenders. Now it's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 starters, right? So right above that cusp for like good math. And then these are these 2 are an extender as long as you see anything, right? Like even if it's like fall on the white dragon and you normal fall on the white dragon, or you choose to special it, you can like still like power Patron for like to get like the girls out. Even if you can't synchro because of like you have to make 8s at that point, you can still basically get like every single girl out of the deck because you can go like this get this get this specials this, this searches you this, right? Like it's fine, right? And that's all the names, and you can actually like make Seraphim on their turn, so it doesn't matter. We're still playing the 3 Thea Realize. I'll talk about this card in a second. The reason I'm playing 3 of it is because it's actually really good for certain cards in the extra deck, and it's looking at the top deck's broken. I've talked about this card. It's broken. Fall on the White Dragon plus the OG Albaz plus Ecclesia. This is your 4-card package for the Albaz stuff that's just completely generic for some freaking reason. This is really strong. It's like it's really like if you've exhausted all of your other Elfnote stuff, right? You've been hand trapped to death or whatever. Like this just gives you guaranteed stuff, right? It lets you set Fall on the Virtuous, right? It threatens stuff like Albaz. Like it's just really really strong. You're only playing like 2 1-ofs, which you can put back with Thea Realize with like Medius if you need to. I've done that plenty of times. Like, and I honestly do not draw the regular Albaz that often. I think I've drawn him like once in like playtesting so far, and that's it. So, on to the rest of the deck that's non-engine. As you can see here, we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 non-engine slots. You could play up to 45, but you'd have to play like a 3rd Medius, I think, and you might want to play a 3rd Tini at that point, but you don't need to be honest. You don't need to play 45 to like drown out anything. Like I said, this is drowned out enough, trust me. So yeah, 3 Fua, 2 Perulia. Some people are like, oh, Perulia bad. I don't agree with this. I think it's like not as good as you would want it to be, but it's still really good because it forces Cooltoon to commit their board through things like through synchro summoning instead of like additional normal with like JJ and Rotary, right? Where normally the same can be said for Fua, right? So you Fua them, so they're gonna use their additional normals, but you have to keep in mind that this is going to still keep them in a way into a half board, right? Fualos keeps them from making a bunch of synchros. Perulia keeps them from like additional normal summoning for a bunch of names and advantage, right? So that's really really strong. So here, right? That's why I'm playing these. And sometimes you do get like maybe two draws off of this, right? Sometimes they choose to give you the draw off of the rotary as well. And then also seeing them together, is still also really good because sometimes they ash the Perulia, sometimes they don't. Like if they have Q, they usually don't ash the Perulia, they'll just give you the draw. But if they don't have Perulia, or they don't have Q, they will ash it if they have it. Which means like if you have Foolos, you get more value. Um, Obviously Foolos you can hold against like Q, right? You see what they normal summon. You don't have to shotgun Foolos against them. Um, you can just do it in standby anyways though. I would still probably recommend just because like of Cool Tune Synchro, right? So you should probably still throw this in standby. But if you have Perulia, you can definitely hold it, right? So if you have both. Effect Veiler is just like, it's generically good. It stops like things here and there on your opponent's turn. It's not super great. The main thing is like it's in a level 1 tuner that like can get me out of a bind sometimes if I have to normal it, and then which has happened, and also including that like sometimes like you know you draw like Effect Veiler plus like two other hand traps and it's enough to like pretty much stop your opponent. Mainly against other archetypes like Doom Z and stuff, like stopping like the Doom Power Patron or the Doom Z one, and then like other stuff like that. But it all depends. Ash Blossom, it beats the Charmies, it beats Cool Tune Synchro, it beats Synchro Overtake, it beat there's a lot of things that this hits. It's just really good right now. You have to play it. Mainly it beats Charmies, but it's also good against Cool Tune. Droll I'll talk about last. Ghost Bell is good against like Overtake. It's good against Remix. It's good against Back to Back. It's good against. That's about it overall. Like it has some other niche things, but like those are the main things. Like obviously we're talking about Cool Tune here. Fallen the Virtuous is just really good, getting rid of like just annoying things, forcing certain things out. It's pretty decent. And then Infinite Impermanence is, it's a board breaker, it's a hand trap, not once per turn. I've talked about it. It's good. Droll and Lockbird. I've chosen to play Droll and Lockbird in the main, even with Cool Tune in the format. Why? Cool Tune is the best deck, right? People are like, oh, Droll doesn't do anything. It depends on the hand. And Droll is, you're never going to see just Droll. You play 21 hand traps. Post side, you can play 25, right? You can play these, right? These 4, and you can take out the Albaz if you want, right? Let's say the Albaz stuff is just not doing anything for you, the matchup. You can side a 2 Ghost Ogre, a Perulia, and a Ghost Bell. It's 25. And you could do different hand traps if you want, right? Like Ghost Mourn or whatever. The point is, you can play a bunch of hand traps if you want to, right? Same thing with Cool Tune. Cool Tune does the same thing. They play like 25 hand traps post side if they want to. So the point is with Droll and Lockbird is that you're going to combine it with other hand traps like Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, Effect Veiler, Imperm to minimize the board as much as you can, and you can sometimes prevent like Rotary from looking at your hand. If Rotary has already activated, right? Let's say they go like activate Effect to Search, or let's say they go, let's say they go Q effect, summon, chain effect Veiler, right? Worst case scenario, they chain Cool Tune Synchro. And you have Droll and Lockbird in hand. Keep that in mind, right? They chain and they go add Rotary, special summon with the Q, the Rotary, into Trackmaker, and then they special summon Mix or Rico or one of those two. It's gonna be one of those two. Right, they dodge your Effect Veiler, and then they synchroed, right? And they added to hand. They go Chainlink 1, the name that they summon. Let's say it's Rico. Chainlink 2, let's say, it would probably be like Rotary, Chainlink 3, Q, Chainlink 4, Trackmaker, right? To put it all together. So Trackmaker will resolve, then Q, then Rotary, then the last name, right? And then, but your Chainlink will be Chainlink 5, Droll and Lockbird. Now, You're going to cut them from Rico Search. You're going to cut them from searching off of the Rotary. You're going to cut them from searching off of the Track Maker. Yes, they're going to still look at your hand, and yes, they're still going to eat your top deck. However, your 2 cards traded with 3 searches, right? And that's still, they still special summoned, right? Which is still good. Keep in mind, you also ate Cool Toon Synchro out of their hand because they wanted to dodge your Valor or Imperm. This is really, really strong, right? Because now, right, the Rico can't go into the deck. They have to add from the grave, right? They can still add from grave, right? Like Mix can do the same thing. Which means like, but it's going to limit them digging into the deck for specific things that they want. And like I said, keep in mind, the main 2 things that you're really, really, really going to stop is the Track Maker and the Rotary. Because Rotary, like I said, still going to look at your hand. And like I said, Q is still going to look at your top deck, which means they're still going to have full knowledge. But they're not going to be able to access JJ now because they're not to get an additional normal because they can't dig into the deck. They're going to have drawn, like hard drawn another Cool Toon Synchro if they're going to want to use that, right? And then even if that's the case, they might chain it to the Droll just because they need a name. Which, so even if they have the second one, it forces it out, right? Unless they choose to save it for your turn. Which means like now like stuff like your Ash Blossom can get value, right? So Droll, I think, is really underappreciated in the Cool Toon matchup. I think he can be very, very, very strong. And that's against like the worst case in scenario where they start with Q, right? Which is the Droll does nothing against, right? Now, if you have nothing else in your hand, right, and you just have like Droll and Foolos, right? It's going to suck, right? Because like you're gonna go like standby phase, activate Fula. Maybe they play into it because, but at that point they probably don't like Q. They probably go summon something else anyways, and they might give you a draw or 2. But if they ash it, that's still good for you, right? Because you have this, or they ash this, right? I think, like I said, specifically when Droll is paired with another hand trap, it's going to be very, very broken. Bell's pretty good, but the negate activation kind of hurts, especially against Overtake. Like I said, moving on, we're going to talk about the side deck. This is just kind of here for now. I'm tweaking with it. It's Ghost Dugger's good into like Doom Z. The Peruli is also good into Doom Z, and then the third Bell is for the Cool Toon matchup, I think. And I say that because I'm just not sure. I just needed, to be honest, I built like all of this. I got to here and I was like, I need a third, like the 15. I'm like, what should I play? And I was like, screw it, threw in the third Bell. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how I feel, to be honest. So yeah. We have Crossout Designator. We play a lot of hand traps. Might as well try to stop them. Call by the Grave. Again, trying to stop hand traps. This just says free extender. Also, this hits Remix. So sometimes like I side this in as like the third Bell because I've hit Remix off of this a couple times and it is mwah. But when it happens. Judgment, Strike. This is simply because if you negate the summon of the Synchro Monster, the Cool Toons do not get to trigger because they were not sent to grave as Synchro material because they failed to Synchro summon because you negated the summon. That is the only reason. These are going to be broken. It also stops things like Cool Toon Synchro. It stops Synchro Overtake. Yes, it does negate activation, but like I said, like normally you're going to be negating it whenever you know that they shouldn't have another one, or it's like their last card in hand. If you can help it. Secret Village. This is for Doom Z specifically, right? Doom Z folds to this card. They play the Power Patron package very heavily, and it is also heavy spell because they use the pendulums, they use the spell card to search, they use their equip spells, they use their continuous spells. You activate Secret Village against the Doom Z, it just kills them. They just lose the game. And then Fenrir is for going second against Cool Toon, and other like weird matchups. Sometimes I take out like Effect Veiler. That's usually what I take out because your effect veiler's not gonna do shit anyways, right? Like what are you gonna like I said, the effect veiler's just gonna die to like cool tune synchro, or like they go like normal summon Q effect, you veiler it, they go like yeah sure on res synchro with it and rotary, because for some reason their effect to summon from or synchro using tuners from hand is a condition, not an effect. So whatever. um the Fenrir is just really good. Also against like other decks that like try to like play into your hand, into your board with like effects, like the mirror match, this is really good, going first and second. I'll side this in because like it's really hard to play around Fenrir is the whole point. It's supposed to be something that like your opponent just has a really hard time playing around. And then also against Doom Z, I play this going second because they play Di-Fi in that deck, which means I can go like summon this, go battle phase, attack, during attack deck, banish the Di-Fi, so I can play the game, which that's another thing. Outside of that, that is about it. Onto the extra deck here, I'm going to talk about all of this stuff up to here, and then all this up to here. I'm going to leave this guy for last because I want to talk about him. He's really good. 2 Seraphim, I think you have to play 2. The second one comes up not incredibly often, but when he does, it's really good. I would continue to play 2 going forward. I've talked about it, so yeah. Black Rose Dragon, this is a new addition. This is how to beat Cool Tune boards whenever you have access to this plus Power Patron. Basically, you go Chainlink 1 Black Rose, Chainlink 2 Power Patron, Chainlink 3 Regina, which means they can't like Ash Blossom the Power Patron, and then you force them deep enough out of the chain that they cannot Zala negate Black Rose, right? Which means they need like something like Effect Veiler or Imperm or whatever the case might be, right? Something to directly interact with the Black Rose on the field. And yeah, but you play Fallen the Virtuous anyways, so like even if they have something like, you know, RS or whatever, most of the time you can like chain to target pop this and force it to resolve. Because if you blow the Cool Tune board, they have nothing, right? They'll have like clip into, you know, like maybe like remix if they haven't used it already, or RS if they haven't used it already. But that's really it, right? Which you should be able to play through at that point. Really strong. I've only resolved it once. The one time I resolved it, you know, like I said, it just wiped the board and I won the game. Yeah, it's pretty good. Dragster is just, you know, spell trap negate. I don't make it a lot against Cool Tune, unless like I already have like this. I've already made this, or it's like later on, right? And I did make this one time to play around Cool Tunes synchro, because I knew they had it set and they were holding it. So instead of level modulating and making this, I chose to make this instead, just like because they had like the Cool Tune synchro set, and then they had like I think like they had like one card in hand that I knew, in a different matchup. So I did this to like, because I had a way to stop the normal already. So yeah. Still really good. Omega, you make it off of the Fallen of the stuff, Fallen the White usually, right? All the Fallen or Albash stuff. Almost every single time I think I make it, it is off of that, because basically you bridge from the Elfnote stuff or like Medius into the Ecclesia. The Ecclesia gets you the Fallen of the White plus the Ecclesia, so you have a 4 and a 4, and this is a tuner. So like you just want to make value out of them. So you make this to rip their hand, which is really good, which means like you set up full Albaz stuff, and then you hand rip them, and you still have Tinny in hand at that point for full combo, so pretty broken. Crystal Wing, this is supposed to kind of insulate against Nib, but to be honest, it's just there to like insulate from other hand traps, because Nib just doesn't exist in this format because of Cool Tune. Cool Tune's gonna look at your hand in your top deck and be like, cool Nib, bro. And then like just summon 4 times and pass. So yeah. The Fabled Lev, you saw how strong this is against Cool Tune. You negate and steal their normal summon, and then you go ahead and if you have Crystal Wing, you negate Rotary and destroy it, and they lose the game because at that point they have to have JJ, and then you just trap negate JJ, and like I said, it's game over. Um, they need like Cool Tune Synchro, or not Cool Tune Synchro, Synchro Overtake. Yeah, so this is really good. It trades itself for a body, like I said, so you can get value off of it. You can steal things like Q, or whatever, and then, like I said, use it off of the trap. Really strong. Keep in mind, the stuff that you take is also a tuner. So, but if you synchro with any of the stuff that you take, it's gonna trigger theirs, and just keep that in mind. Don't do that. Just send the stuff off of the trap. Chaos Angel. Usually you just hard make this. If you make this light and dark, Cool Tune can do like basically nothing about it. So really, really strong. Obviously you banish the stuff off the field. Really, really strong. Link Spider, just in case people are playing Nib. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to run into one weirdo that's going to nib me at a good time, and I'm going to be like, I can't play anymore because I didn't took out the Link Spider. So we'll see. If I can confirm for like 100% guarantee that nobody's going to play it, I will play something else, but until then, this is staying in my deck. It will become SP. If I can confirm, like, oh my god, nobody in their, like, in any form or capacity is playing Nib, they're not siding it, no nothing, this is going to become SP, because SP is pretty good. Ecclesia Synchro, it's the bridge, it's pretty good. It summons Albaz, so I can fuse with your stuff. That's about it. Albion, sometimes you fuse and make this. It depends. Like I've had like times where I've went like negate Q and then like on res I went and fused with it and Albaz to make Albion just so I could put Mirror Jade up immediately. That way, in case they could extend, I could just Mirror Jade them, because at that point, if they have or if they try to Cool Tune Sync Cool Tune Sync, the only thing that they can make is Track Maker or a Synchro, which means like you're either gonna make Albion anyways, or I'm just gonna freaking make this, so they can't play around. If this activates and they can't stop it, it just resolves, right? The Dogma that devours. This is just really good because it eats 2 names off the field. Like you can eat like Q plus whatever name it summons, which is really strong. And then also being able to shuffle things back into the deck is really good. I shuffle back stuff like Media sometimes from like Banishment if I was sent off a Theo. There's been times I've shuffled back Power Patron in like later game states because like I had both engraved, so I shuffled one back plus like something else. Obviously, shuffle stuff back in the graveyard is good. You almost always have Ecclesia engraved, so it's in unaffected towers at 3,500 attack. That's also really good. Cool Tune can do nothing about this unless they're big enough to beat over it. And then the final thing is Rindbrum, because sometimes you just need to get Albaz out of the grave on your opponent's turn. Yeah, like there's been plenty of times I go like Ecclesia, put stuff back, and then like my opponent's like playing and they forget about Albaz, and then I go Rindbrum, summon this, and it's really good. I don't think I've gotten a chance to make this yet. Because it's a beast warrior, or winged beast. Like maybe if Yummy stays into the format, but they're not because they only play one Snatchy. So, the last card that we're gonna talk about, that is in the extra deck that I've been playing, and when he comes up, it's so broken. It's so good, and that is Chaos Archfiend. So this is the new edition. I'm going to go ahead and read this card to you. If any cards that have been banished this turn, this card gains 2,000 attack. Period. Cool Tune banishes stuff. I banish stuff. Like Medius will be banished off of his own effect. That's usually how it comes up. But yeah. It does need a light tuner plus a non-tuner, which means you can make it with the Ecclesia and stuff. So sometimes, like in game states where you need to do other things, you can do this, or right, let's say you've already done that, let's say you can go Ecclesia, banish yourself, summon Fallen of Albaz, summon Ecclesia, and then you can make Chaos Archfiend, right? Which means since the card was banished during the turn, it is going to have the condition that it's at 2,000 attack increase. So, and this card is already 2,500 I don't think you can see that though. Yeah, this card is at 2,500 originally. So he goes to 4,500 after that. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also banish any monster destroyed by a battle with this card. Also very strong. You can literally just go like battle phase and be like bah, 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 and just clear stuff and banish it, which is all really good. If this card and its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Chaos Synchro monster from your extra deck except Archfiend, and you can only use this effect once per turn. You can literally, if you like, let's say you haven't banished anything, you could go battle phase, crash this with something like, let's say Harmonia, right? Harmonia is another 25/25. You can go damage step, effect, summon Chaos Angel effect, target a card on the field, banish it, and damage step. Resolution, still in battle, swing a Chaos Angel. I had a game where against Pure Mitsurugi, I summoned this because I had Regina in hand, and the plan was like swing for 45, summon this by sending like something from the field. I think it was like the spell card. Summon Lucina, swing for another 45, and like just like surprise, you're dead. And I went battle, swing with Archfiend, right? He'd already taken like I think like 1,600 damage, like something like that with from like prayers. So he went Spark, banish this, and I was like, sure. Resolution, effect, summon Chaos Angel, swing 35, swing, and then I was like, effect summon, swing, death. And yeah, really, really strong. I'd recommend playing this card if you can. And yeah, otherwise, guys, that's about it for the deck profile. Like I said, I've been playing this deck. It's absolutely amazing. It does really good against Cool Tune. As long as you can try to kind of force them on a half board, it's really bad, right? I talked about it before in the previous video a while back about how Cool Tune is cool but toxic, but like I said, I hope y'all guys enjoyed. Like I said, I also have another video coming to y'all. It is going to be my third place case tournament deck profile, so stay tuned for that. And don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification bell down below. That way you know when I post more content, and I will catch y'all in the next one, guys. Peace.